evening. This is Jan from New York City. My channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. How's everybody doing today? Hope that this audio video finds everybody doing well. This is the radio style version of me. My video style version of me is Monday through Friday. Yay, yay, yay. 5 a.m. Eastern. Hope that you enjoy both versions. Kick back a little bit if you have some time. If not, just continue doing whatever you're doing and give a listen. This message is specifically for those folks that happen to be on SNAP benefits, or some people call it EBT, whereas they get a fixed amount of money to be used towards the payment of food at the grocery store. And by the way, if you are a person in need and need to do it, you have to throw away your pride, because pride does not fill your stomach. Just saying, just saying. All right, so just go ahead with that. And also, if you're in need and need food pantry, get right to it. You know what I'm saying? Just got to be real here, keeping it real. Speaking about the EBT situation, okay, so a person is given a certain amount of money to be placed on their card, and that person has to manage it at the grocery store. Now, with changing prices, and by the way, just for the record, prices always change. Prices of groceries are always subject to change, no matter what year, no matter what climate. That's why, like, sometimes, you got to think about this when you're watching the news a little bit. Sometimes, it's an attention grabber. And sometimes, if you listen to that negative energy way too long, it'll make you a little frazzled. But take heart, take control. There are some steps that we can do to make life a little bit easier. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but it's a helpful hint or two. Okay. Now, the first hint that I'm going to give or tip sounds extremely commonsensical. Commonsensical? Is that such a word? Oh, well. Anyway, the first thing, strong suggestion, you should make a shopping list before going to the grocery store. What? Somebody has to tell me to make a shopping list? I can't tell you how many times people walk into the grocery store without a list. I'm just going to pick up one or two items. They go in, let's say, for a gallon of milk. Then all of a sudden, they're smelling some fresh bakery stuff. Well, that would go good with a glass of milk. Yeah, but you know something? While I'm here, I might as well buy that pre-made meatloaf or whatever. Just saying, just saying. So we always have to be mindful. In this case, a person that is on an allotted plan like that really, really needs to make a shopping list. I mean it. Next, get rid of the idea that a SNAP benefit, and this is for anyone budgeting, SNAP benefit or no SNAP benefit, get rid of the idea that just because something, an exchange of cash, because your SNAP benefit is effectively kind of sort of actually is cash value to be paid for food. So don't think of it as, it's just a card. We have been mentally numbified over the years to think this is in terms of credit cards, this is in terms of debit cards, and the same rule applies, in my honest opinion, with SNAP. It is money. It may be hiding on plastic, but you are dealing with a monetary value item. Next, avoid those teensy weensy, itty bitty yellow polka dot bikini kind of food. What am I talking about? Those individually wrapped items, they tend to cost more. Those cute little cakes or cute little whatever it is that's edible, that's wrapped in an individual but small package, tend to run more money. So stay with that. I mean, stay away from that. Hello, Janet. Stay away from that. All right. Now, when you have meat, stretch your existing meat. I'm not saying don't eat meat every day. If that's what you enjoy and you really feel like you have to have some meat, then nobody said don't have any meat. But take clever ways, create clever ways, buy cheaper cuts of meat, buy chicken as opposed to beef. Chicken is still a great deal. And certain parts of chicken, even more so than others. And actually, many people do very well by buying a whole chicken and working with the whole chicken and getting more bang for your buck. Get creative and have fun. That's very, very important. You know what I used to do? And I actually still do it, but I don't eat chicken as much as I used to. Don't ask me why. It's like a phase. I love chicken. I go through phases. Like for example, one month I'm like, oh yeah, this is my chicken month. I want my chicken. Okay. Then all of a sudden the next month I'm like, chicken. Hey, this is real life, you know? So on the chicken phase month, what I did to stretch out my chicken, for example, I would get like boneless chicken. This is what I used to do. I'm not saying the world should do it. I would freeze it, like or halfway thawed out, taking it out of the freezer. And then I would butterfly it across, and then I would cut it up into smaller pieces. You can really, really stretch it. Throw it in stir fries and all that good stuff. Just get creative. Start making friends in the bean world, in the lentil world, in the peas world. You listen. Sometimes for some people, eating beans is an acquired taste. Maybe they didn't eat it that much growing up. For example, I didn't grow up eating beans. I didn't. My mom and dad just didn't make them. The only time, maybe very, very once in a while, great thing, I would maybe add it to pasta or something, but it was not a main staple for me growing up. So it all depends on how you were growing up and what you learned and what your taste buds learned to like. As I got older, I had a deeper appreciation for beans. It took a little while. I'm not going to lie to you. I prefer the canned ones over the fresh ones. But as long as I eat them every once in a while, they are really value packed. And when you flavor them up the right way, whoa, they could be really, really so good. I'll tell you one thing, they do keep you full. Hello. And you don't eat too much of a ton of them if you're just starting to get used to it. But you can get very creative with beans. Anybody with a bean recipe, please let me know in the comments section below. We really appreciate that. So try to get, but I do enjoy fresh pea soup and fresh lentil soup. So that's in the bean family, and that's okay. And by the way, I always did like canned chickpeas. Some people I know didn't like them, but I did like them. All right, so much for the bean department. Okay, let me see. If you cannot get access to fresh food, back to EBT shop. If you can't get access to fresh food, a lot of people take buying fresh food, whole food for granted. But there are some neighborhoods, and I pointed that out in the past video. There are some areas that it is practically very difficult, if not at all possible. Some people cannot gain access to fresh food as readily as others. They could gain access to tons of fast food, but they can't gain access readily to fresh food, and that could be a problem. So go to the next best thing, and that would be either blah, blah, blah. Start over, Jan. Flash frozen fresh vegetables. Hello, in the freezer section. See, I always keep it real. I'm not editing that out. I'm not editing that flub out. But anyway, you get the point. Get the frozen veggies. They're a good thing. So next to like fresh produce, the frozen ones are a really great backup plan. And by the way, speaking of fresh produce, if you can get access to it, and we're always so grateful for all those things, get things like inexpensive fruits and vegetables, things like apples. Oranges are still relatively inexpensive. Bananas are dirt cheap. And while you're at it, the apples and the bananas make a great bread. So, like you're regenerating instead of sweet, sugary, non nutritious. See, here's the thing, anyone that's on EBT is probably slightly more stressed out than, let's say, somebody that's not on the EBT and reliant on that. So that person may not be eating very well. So try to get the most nutrition out of the stuff that you get, like making those banana breads, making those apple breads and stuff like that, instead of sugary cake, icky, overly sugary cookies. You can make your own cookies, a healthier version. There are ways to that. Oats are a very, very good budget stretcher. This is for anybody. even the upper middle class who just, enjoy listening to my show, of which I'm totally flattered. But my show is definitely geared for people that are in, a tough, situation, or just, I don't know, I guess want to stretch a buck. And that would probably be anyone listening. Who wouldn't want to stretch a buck? Am I right or am I right? Okay, let's see what else. The apples and oranges I mentioned. Oh, menu planning. Menu planning. Just saying, just saying. Some people are afraid of those two words. Some people dismiss those two words. I think it's a better idea to use those two words, menu planning or meal planning, whatever you want to call it. Work around the stuff that you already have. Work around the stuff that your family actually eats. You're not going to impress the person in, next house if you're eating, or telling them you're eating this elaborate thing for whatever the reason. I don't know why some people are food braggarts. I know some food braggarts in my life. I'm like always bragging about their food. Like, why? Just saying. I kind of like laugh at it. Just saying, just saying. But anyway, select in advance the recipes that this is well before you even do a list. What kind of recipes are you looking for? Work around the sale items in your local grocery store. Yes, it takes a few minutes, but there is nothing nicer than, let's say that you plan out your meals. You could do the meal planning or the menu planning for just 1 week at a time. Do it weekly so you don't feel overwhelmed. Some people do it 2 weeks. Isn't it a nice feeling to know that at the end of the day, you get back from work, your kids get home from school, everything has been planned out in so much as that it is there. The choices you make, that's up to you, and that could change every day. But to know your food is there and not have to rely on fast food all the time, which, by the way, is not the healthiest route. And by the way, it is not the least expensive route. Don't let those little, call for action $1 items reel you in. If you're very disciplined and you're okay with just eating that, well, I wouldn't make a habit out of it, me, Janet, but I'm no nutritional expert here. This is just, a mom and a grandma talking here. That's it. Just saying, just saying. So anyway, anybody, managing your food budget, whether it's on EBT or just your regular budget, just pay attention to the tinier details and you will be shocked and amazed that you, me, all of us, we can get through the most belt tightening times of all. Remember that. Hey, listen, what did grandma and grandpa do during the Depression? Let's think about that for a minute. We're here to talk about it. In the meantime, this has been Jan from New York City. Thank you so much for listening. Why? Because I really do appreciate who? You. Don't forget to come back Monday through Friday every single morning at 5 a.m. Eastern. You don't have to show up at 5 a.m., but the video is up at 5 a.m. You could just know that it is there for the whole day. Thank you for your time. I want to look for my closing out music. Here we go. Take good care and have a great night.